Hello indie game fan, there are a whole bunch of DLCs, updates and 1.0 releases of interest, beginning with Hellpoint Blue Sun, a paid DLC to a cosmic horror Souls-like RPG from 2020 which is pretty decent. The gimmick of the original was that the time of day mattered, since it affected enemy spawns and the reveal of locations, where this DLC continues that trend, but does add in a new parallel dimension with 3 large areas to explore. New enemies, bosses, weapons and armor are expected, although at launch in July, there were some technical issues with bugs, which I hope has been ironed out. I covered the roguelike platformer Summum Aeterna as part of a surprise release as well, where about a month after release, the developer already released their first major update titled Demon's Mother. This includes new seeds for world generation, with a new challenge room, mini-bosses, NPCs and various upgrades, resulting in this continuing to be a prospect. This video is brought to you by Captain Velvet Meteor The Jump Plus Dimensions, a tactical RPG that seems to have gone a little bit under the radar, but might just be for tactics fans. If you're a fan of anime and manga, you would have heard of Shonen Jump, a weekly magazine that has hosted some of the most iconic manga series, where there has been a recent shift to Jump Plus, an online subscription service with different series, where the creators are not pressured to pump out weekly chapters, being a different model for a different age. Where if you are interested in the significance of that, I would encourage you to check out the Super Eyepatch Wolf video linked below. This game features characters from those series such as Kaiju No. 8, Slime Life, Ghost Reaper Girl, and the recent anime hit Spy Family, joining an original character named Damien and his alter ego, Captain Velvet Meteor, as they adventure in an imaginary world. The tactics action is solid, with plenty of references to their respective series, but even if you're not familiar, it is still worth a play. You can probably tell what type of game Urbek City Builder is by the name, so I shall not belabor the point, where the voxel look is pleasant and has been pretty well received so far, so if you love titles like SimCity, this is one to get. One of the most impressive titles this year so far is Hidden Deep, a horror side-scrolling platformer taking place in an underwater research station gone dark, which of course is the doing of horrible monsters. They released the Kill It With Fire update, which of course is centered around the flamethrower, but does add in 3 new levels, NPCs, weapons, enemies, changes to existing levels, and some tweaking of the water and lighting physics, making this even better. There have been a number of tycoon and management games over the years, but not quite like this, where Cartel Tycoon has you playing as the head of a criminal organization in a fictional Latin American country, essentially running a cocaine operation and all the ups and downs that come with it. On top of growing crops and manufacturing that into drugs, you need to manage supply chains and your lieutenants, all while evading the cops. As you may expect, drug lords do often come to a violent end, which appears to be inevitable in this game, but you're able to play as the successor and carry on. There are complaints of balance being broken, so do look into that, but it is certainly something different. We also have the 1.0 release of the long-in-development Realms of Magic, a side-scrolling pixel art action RPG platformer that sure reminds me of Terraria. There are plenty of character customization options, base building and crafting, exploration, farming, cooking, and so much more. I believe this released in early access in 2017, so much work has been put into this, and while Terraria is still going very strong, I do think that there is space in this genre right now, so if you're itching for an experience like this, do check this out. Another 1.0 release of interest is Lost Epic, a 2D action platformer RPG that has you battling against the gods, looking very Japanese in design. There is fishing and cooking as well as stamina-based Souls-like combat, but much flashier, definitely being worth a play. An awesome action roguelite quietly chugging away in early access is Have a Nice Death, releasing their second update titled Fast Food, which includes a brand new world filled with fast food creatures. The tagline here is "You are what you eat until it eats you," where new enemies range from a giant burger to a suicide bomber cola, as well as the creepy animatronic mascots of the fast food chain, with plenty of updates and additional features as well, making this even better. One of the best indie games in recent memory is Monster Sanctuary, where more than 1.5 years after launch, the developer just released a new free content pack titled The Forgotten World. This adds a whole new area much larger than any of the previous ones, with a whole bunch of new dinosaur-styled monsters, a new type and plenty of improvements, where if you love this genre like me, watch this video for more of my favorites.